Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me today. Today I want to talk about the Hongdian 100. This is an extra fine, and this is a fine. I purchased this from Amazon with Prime shipping, so it came to me in like 1 or 2 days, and it was $29.80. This one I purchased on eBay with probably about, I guess, 5 other pins from one Chinese eBayer. And this took about 8 days to get to me. Not too bad. It was some of the fastest shipping from China. Probably because I bought a lot of pins at once. Again, this was also $29.33. So pretty inexpensive, I think, for what you get. It is maybe a little bit on the expensive side for Chinese pens, but I think the quality of this pen, I think you're getting a lot more than what you pay for. So, like I said, this is the extra fine version from Amazon, and you can see all the artwork there. It's very intricate. Chris Rapp does a good video. He has one with the red star. Fortunately, they changed the star to silver, which I think is less political for one, and it does match the aesthetic of the pen much better. I wouldn't have bought it with the red star. I didn't like the way that looked at all, but I think this looks much better. And like I said, it's less political. So the artwork is beautiful. You see it's a piston fill. Has a beautiful pattern there on the piston as well. And it's Hongdian. It says 100 there. There's another YouTuber, Inquiring Minds. He also did a very good video where he described the artwork as foo-foo, which I thought was kind of funny. But yeah, it's beautiful. But you see there, I think there's some mountains, some steps, a palace, some trees maybe, and some Chinese characters built in there as well. A very pretty pen, and it really it's a lot lighter than it looks and than I thought it would be. I will weigh it in a little bit. The clip is super stiff. Like, I think it's overly stiff. So if you're gonna put this on a delicate piece of fabric, be careful. This is super. I think it would probably rip something very delicate. And one thing I don't like is that the clip does move back and forth. You see there? Although it's super stiff, it does move back. And I just, it's one of my pet peeves about a pen. I just don't like when the clip moves back and forth like that. The star, well, I think it looks much better than the red star. I wish the point would line up with the top point there, would line up with the clip. But that's just being anal. But I think that it would look a little better if it was just attention to detail there. I think that it would be nice. It would be nice if it was like that. But all in all, I think it's a very, very beautiful pen. Politics aside, I love the way this looks and the way it feels. This is not rough at all. That was one of my concerns, is that this would dig into my skin, but this is very well done, and it's very, very smooth. Very smooth on the hands. So, like I said, it is a piston fill. And there's some ink. The one thing with this one, this is I think this is the extra fine. For some reason on the fine point, the one from eBay, I have Diamine Writer's Blood. And I think Diamine Writer's Blood is a very beautiful ink, but I don't think it works for every pen. And for some reason, the ink kind of bubbles there at the end of the nib. Kind of bubbles up and dries up. You can see there, it's kind of dried up there. And this has done this since I've had it. I haven't changed inks yet, so maybe a change in ink would be necessary. But what it does, if I don't wipe that little booger or whatever that is, if I don't wipe that off, it will hard start. But once it starts, it's very smooth. I think the writer's blood is such a super wet ink that it's dribbling a little bit. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time focusing today. But there's the feed, there's the ink window, and there's the section. The section, it looks pretty slippery, but it isn't. And there's the section there is super smooth. So it's a very comfortable pen to write with. And this is a fine iridium point nib. It just says Hongdian there. Has the little, I think that's a pagoda maybe, or some kind of house. And it's extra fine, or it's fine. This one is fine. And no issues on the extra fine with that. And this is also a diamond ink, but there's no drying there. So probably isn't a feature of the pen. It's just the ink maybe that I put in it, or maybe I need to do some kind of tuning to that nib maybe. But again, there's the ink window and the pen. As far as the box, the one from eBay came in this sleeve, and it also included the wrench, which is good. So you can remove the piston and clean it out really nicely. The one from eBay just came in this, which is okay. I think it was just a packing decision on the part of the seller, because I bought several pens and a couple of them came in big boxes. So the Hongdian, they just kind of slid into one of the boxes, which is fine. Compared as far as sizes, this is the N7, which is, seems like this is pretty much, it's a little bit, nope, they're the same size. They're the same size. The piston knob is a little different in size, but for the most part they seem like they're pretty much the same pen, just a different design. So the sizes are pretty equivalent. There it is compared to a Lamy All-Star. So it's a fairly average size pen. I'll weigh it, and this is fully inked. So inked and capped is 48.1, and inked and uncapped is 28.8. So, you know, compared to how it looks, it is to me a fairly lightweight pen. Oh, yeah. So I'll give some writing samples. Let's see if you can see inside the cap. It's probably a little bit too dark, but there really isn't much to speak of inside of there. There's a liner, you can see. It does post, and it posts securely and fairly deeply. So it goes all the way down there when you post it. And I don't think this material, I don't know if it'll scratch, it maybe. But I generally write with it unposted. But there it is posted. And it's not back heavy or anything. It fits nicely in the crook of my hand. So you can very well post it if you want. And it doesn't interfere with the piston knob. It doesn't move the piston knob. I know, like with my Twisbees, if I try to post it, it'll actually move the piston knob, which is not, it's not a good thing. But this doesn't touch the piston knob at all. So I'll get started with some writing samples. And I think I've mixed up my caps and the order that my pens were in here, but so I don't know which one is the fine and which one is the extra fine. So take this off. This is Hongdian 100. And this is the extra fine iridium. The material that it's made out of, they just say metal on Amazon. I'm not sure what it's made of. It's a fairly lightweight material, whatever it is. And for the extra fine, it's about 0.38 millimeter. And the ink that I have in here is Diamond Aurora Borealis. And there it is, a nice blue-green. This is not a super wet writer. It's just I would say, a very balanced writer, not overly wet, not overly dry. And this, again, was Amazon. And it's prime shipping. And it was $29.80. And here's with very little. There's some increase. There is no flex or anything. This is a very firm nib. So I'll let you see the fine point, and I'm gonna do this with my left hand. So again, it's the Hongdian 100, and this is a fine. And this is about 0.5 millimeter line weight. And the ink in here, it's also diamond, as I stated before. And this is writer's blood. So this is a very comfortable pen in both of my hands. Doesn't cramp up my hands or anything. It feels balanced. This is eBay. I think the seller is SEBuy. I've bought a few things from them. So this is $29.33. And there is not much, I don't see very much difference in the line weight of the extra fine and the fine. I had to check to make sure. I had to look using my loupe. I had to look and make sure that there's actually a difference. So it does say fine, and this does say extra fine. My intention initially was to replace one of the nibs with a Kaigaloo nib, maybe a medium. So it'll probably be this final point. Maybe put a Kaigaloo medium nib on there, or a Birmingham Pen Company nib on it. So as far as pros and cons, pro, I think this is fairly lightweight. I was surprised by how light it felt. Comfortable grip. It's not slippery at all. I have a very good grip on this. It's not sliding. I think it's a beautiful writer. You see, it's a very, very smooth. It's not glassy smooth, but it is very smooth. You know, especially for the price, you're getting this art piece, and plus a beautiful writer at the same time. And again, it is an art piece. I think of it, you know, it's an art piece, and it's solid craftsmanship. My only concern is the clip rocking back and forth. That's my only concern as far as the quality. But it does feel like it's on there pretty tightly. But so let's say some cons. Another pro is I say fairly inexpensive, or it is inexpensive for what you're getting. Cons. There's the political sensitivity. The Inquiring Minds guy. Apologies for not knowing his name. He, like I said, he goes into some of the details on why this pen was made, and it's very political. So there is some political sensitivity involved. I try to stay out of that. And then the clip is too tight / stiff, and it sways. I wish this star was aligned, but that may be just me. And lastly, you see the issues with the fine point nib, and the ink bubbling, I would say, and drying up. I think that just may be my pen, that I need to just give it a little bit of a TLC. So I do want to check the caps for leaking, since I do see quite a bit of ink here. So I'm gonna go get me a swab real quick and check to see that if it's leaking at all. Okay, so I'm back to check the caps for any leaks. So there's none there, which is a good thing. Let's check this one. And there's just a tad bit of writer's blood. A lot less than I expected, considering how much ink was bubbled up on there, on the nib. So that's pretty good. There's no leaking. Like I said, I probably just need to either try a new ink in the fine point, or just tweak it a little bit. I think my plan is just to change that nib anyway, so maybe that'll fix that. But you can see that how dry that is. that writer's blood is on there. There's a little, I don't want to be gross, but it looks like a little snot booger or something. But all in all, I love these pens. I love the way they write. Again, there's not any considerable line weight variation between the extra fine and the fine, so it really didn't really do anything for me to get these two. So I'll definitely probably change that fine to a medium to have more of a variation between the two. But that's my impressions of the Hongdian 100. If you can get past the political sensitivity of the pen, I think it's a good pen for the price. I definitely recommend it, and I'm happy with my purchase. So until next time, thank you as always for watching and for all your comments and helpful tips. So everyone take care. Catch you later.